So, the guy I got the lead tonight is that I've known this guy for a few 24 hours, always liked him, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely one of us. And, without further ado, I'm going to leave my friend Dale from, where you from, Dale? Slina? Slina.
Yeah. All right, I'm Dale and I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
My sobriety date is November 24th, 2016. So I have 7 years, 5 months, and 9 days. I looked it up today.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's kind of minor. It's been a while since I've gave a lead. It's probably been 4 years since I've gave a lead. Last time I gave a lead, I sat up here with a notebook, took notes and dates of when I did what and whatnot. This time I tried to think about it. I just tried to put my mind to it all week because Gary hit me up last Friday. He's like, hey, you want to do a lead? Not really, but I will again, And so all week I was trying to think, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't concentrate. So anyways, I guess when I was a kid, growing up, I had a pretty easy life. Mom and dad. There wasn't much alcohol in the house. Mom and dad might have had a 12-pack in the refrigerator in case somebody would stop over. They would have a beer or two with them. That'd be about it. I remember being young. I had an uncle that was an alcoholic, and my cousin was the same age as me. And I don't know, we were probably in the 5th or 6th grade, and her mom and dad split up because her dad was an alcoholic, and her mom couldn't take it anymore. It's like, man, that's what is wrong with your dad? Why could he just not quit drinking? Back then, here I come to realize that ended up happening to me. But I just remember that growing up, that was one of the things that touched me. I was like, all he had to do is quit drinking, and she would stay living with him. So, he'd have his kids. Why is he's giving up his kids? He's giving up his wife, everything, just because he wants to drink? What's wrong with him? Just could never wrap my mind around that. Well, here I dang near did all that too, but. So I would say about the age of 14, I decided I was going to be an alcoholic. My mom said, hey, when I was 14, they decided to build a house. And she said, when you turn 18, I remember plain as day, when you turn 18, you're out of here, you're on your own. Now, she was trying to be mean, nothing. You're going to be a big boy, and you're going to get yourself a house, get yourself a job, and you're on your own. You graduate in high school, you're done. So decide what you're going to do. Well, my dad had a little hobby farm, and she's like, well, either you're going to help him farm, or these guys are building a house. Why don't you watch these guys, and maybe you'll like that or something. Well, me and my dad, we never really got along. We got along, but when I was younger, but he liked to take too long, and I liked to get stuff done, so we never really could work together very well. But so I watched these guys building this house. They could smoke all day. They drank all day. Hey, this is what I want. And I honestly decided when I was 14, this is what I wanted to do. I didn't realize, though, till I was about, I'm going to guess 38 when I got sober. These guys didn't go home and they didn't drink all night as soon as they got off of work, and they didn't drink while they were at work and all this, and then, it took me a really long time to realize that. But so I turned 16, had my license for 6 months, I got my first DUI. In that 6 months time, though, I drank every night. I would go through the carry out and I would get served every night. Got my license taken away. Mom was upset, pretending like she thought, well, she didn't know that I ever drank. She thought it was the first time I ever drank. Yeah, well, I had been drinking for quite some time. It just didn't show it, I guess, or she didn't want to pay attention. What's the way I look at it, but she said, yeah, I don't understand, but whatever. So that's 16, and then so I lost him for 14 months because I would not tell him who served me, whatnot. No big deal. Come around to about 18, and I would have had another DUI. I rolled a truck and left it in somebody's front yard. Went home, Next morning, stayed at a friend's house. Next morning, my mom's beating on the door. Dale, what'd you do last night? I have no clue. Why don't you look out the window? Looked out the window. There goes my truck on the back of a roll-off. The whole top crushed and everything. So it was a blackout. Had a lot of blackout drunks too. Um, Throughout my drinking, I did. I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over. I just, like I say, I tried to think about this, but when worked for me. So I was 20. I would say 21 is when I got married. Um, that night we went to get fitted for our tuxes. It was a Thursday night. We were getting married on Saturday. My best man at my wedding also liked to drink. He got pulled over that night for his third DUI. Impounded his car. All of our tuxes were in that car. New sheriff. There's no way he could leave any of that evidence out of the car. My wife was not happy. So I left her know that this was not going to sheriff well. Anyway, look at it. My wife, my buddy's dad, a bunch of them got a hold up there, got a hold of the sheriff, and finally we got our tuxes back. We didn't know if my best man was going to be out in time, though, but they did leave him out in jail in time, so he did go to the wedding, so this is, My wife knew what she was getting into, I'm just saying. The day we got married, my father-in-law was totally upset with me. He watched me circle that church about 4 or 5 times. We were sitting around, I probably drank 12-pack before I went up the aisle, it was just one of them things. So as my drinking progressed, in the beginning I didn't drink before I went to work. It was always after work. As time went on, I decided I had to drink, before work, during work, and after work as the years progressed. Somehow I was very blessed with 3 beautiful children. They're all 3 healthy. They're now in their teenage years, so they're in a handful. I've got 3 boys. Yeah. So everything I did, they're trying to give me back. Um, Love it though. Yeah, she is. um, yeah, and that only through the sake of God that I do have them kids with me, and I am alive today. Um, so I'm gonna say 24, 25, 26. Okay, the second I had 2 children born when I had my 4-wheeler accident. Me and a buddy went out drinking one night. We're driving around 4-wheelers. Decided to go to St. Anthony. Blackout drunk. Woke up in the hospital. I broke my spine in 2 and crushed my face. And they drew blood that night, so obviously they had me on that would have been another one of my DUIs. So my back together right now is held together with rods and pins. Um, just another one of my bad decisions during drinking. Um, Had another incident where I guess this would have been my All County DUI. I went to the chiropractor one evening. It was probably about my chiropractor probably 4:30. Anyways, I woke up in the back of a cop car. They said I passed out at a stoplight with my foot on the brake, still in drive, beer in between my legs, one on the floor spilt, the other one was still open in between my legs. They said I was passed out at a stoplight. How I got out of the car, how I got in the back of the cruiser, I have no idea. So they hauled me in, made me blow. And this is a God thing that I still to this day don't understand. Made me blow. I blew zeros.
Wow.
Zeros. They said their machine's not working. So they said, let's go back here. You're gonna pee in a cup or whatever. So I peed in a cup. Nothing. Well, I mean, it took me whatever. They wrote me up as a DUI. Anyways, during this whole situation, my mom worked in Walpox, and she just so happened to see my truck go by on the back of a roll-off because they impounded it. So she knew where to find me. So like I say, I'm 30. At this time, I skipped a few years here. I would have been probably about 30, 35 or 36 years old. I've got 3 kids and everything else. So my mom seen the truck go by and she knew where I was at. So she came to Hogley Sheriff's and got me out, whatever. They released me. She brought me home to my wife directly from the Sheriff's Department home. I guess I laid on the couch for a while, and my wife then took me to Coldwater Hospital emergency room because I had that much alcohol in my blood. They took me Dayton, somewhere. They care flighted me. My blood alcohol was so high that if my wife wouldn't have been with me, they said they would have never even tried to revive me. But since she was with me, they had a little bit of hope that maybe somebody actually did care about me enough to survive me, to bring me back to life. So I laid in the hospital. I think it was like 3 or 4 days, hooked up to an IV just to get my fluids back up. But that's all within the same night. How that all worked out that way, I had no clue. I literally died. And so that was one of my incidents. But backing up a few years from that, I was 30, 31 years old, and that would have been my, I'm going to guess, sixth DUI. First time I was introduced to this program, it was my sixth DUI. I had my 3 boys in the truck with me. We went to see Santa Claus that night, Wabash Telephone, up in Salina. Went and seen Santa Claus. I went here for Santa Claus. We stopped at a friend's house. I had a few drinks. I like Crown. I like beer. I never really got into drugs too much. Stopped at a friend's house. I probably drank half a gallon or a gallon of Crown. I never mixed it. I like to drink it straight. I drink it straight out of the bottle. So who knows how many beers I had too. Anyways, we were on our way home and I had another blackout. I was in the middle of a field. Somehow the kids were yelling, screaming. Somebody must have tried to talk to me. Somehow got out on the road. I was on my way home when I got pulled over, and I got another DUI. They called my wife. She came, got the kids, and found the truck again. Just another one of my incidents. So that was on a Friday night. The following Saturday morning, my wife decided that enough's enough. So we went to a Men in AA meeting. And then I continued to come in and out of these doors for 8 years until I decided to finally surrender. And my experience through all this, I was in and out of rehabs. I have no idea. I really can't even count how many rehabs I've been out of. I've been in and out of mental institutions. It'd be a weekend. My wife would see me all messed up, so I'm not dealing with you this weekend. Let's go to rehab. She'd drop me off. Be there 3 or 4 days. She'd come pick me back up because I'd fight to get out. I'd do anything I could to get out. Like I say, I really honestly can't even tell you how many I've been to. And finally, this last time, it was Woods Parkside, for the probably would have been my 3rd visit there. It was a 30-day program. I'd done it a couple other times. This was, like I say, just another visit. It's right before Thanksgiving. For some reason, I woke up that morning, and I like to. Also, I would set my beer down on the nightstand, or set it underneath the bed, go to bed, wake up, and I'd have a drink for myself in the morning. Wouldn't have to go out to the garage. I'd just grab one and take a drink. For some reason, I woke up that morning in Parkside. I didn't know it was in Parkside. I reached down, I couldn't find it, so I crawled down on the floor to reach underneath the bed and couldn't find my beer. I got to looking around, where am I at? What's going on? I think I came to and realized that I was in a rehab again. I was kneeling. I was down on my knees. I asked God to take this desire of drinking away from me. I'll do anything. You can have everything I have. You can have my wife, my kids, my house, anything. Just help me with this. From that day forward, it's been nothing but a breeze.
Oh.
So it took me that long to surrender, and after surrendering, it's been awesome. It has been awesome. I'm doing stuff now that I would have never guessed Would have never guessed. We I don't know how long it's been, but we have a good group of friends I now hang around with. That was my drinking days, and we got a good group of friends that change friends, people, places. That's all different now. Um, but I still do go to the bars. I still do. I can do that now. I don't have to drink to go to the bar. I mean, it's really neat. It's cool. I can hang out with these people, and I don't have to drink. I mean, I've got supportive friends that if I go somewhere or something with them, they'll come back with a Mountain Dew, or they'll. I mean, I mean, it's just a. It's a very nice environment with this group of friends. They respect me. There's some of them that knew me when I was drinking. There's some that didn't know that side of me, but they think it's awesome that I can actually, hang out with them and have fun, and we can laugh and we can have a good time, and I don't have to drink. It's awesome. So my kids, they now respect me a little bit. One of the things that definitely got to me is my wife left me multiple times. I can't say that. My kids hated me. They couldn't have friends over, none of that. But I can remember one Saturday afternoon, my son sitting there at the kitchen table with mom, and he's telling her, just leave him. He's never going to quit drinking. Let's just forget about him. He's worthless. I mean, just plain as day is he just. That's something that crossed in my mind. Is that the only thing that got me sober? No, but did it also encourage me? I can say yes, it did. I mean, just hearing that and hearing him the way he thought of me of being, you know. But like I say, that was probably 4 or 5 years before I even got sober. So I mean, but a lot of them things did end up getting to me, and to where I decided that enough's enough. And I say I enjoy living a sober life today, and it's really neat not having to fight that drink. Because when I was drinking, I got fired off of jobs. I mean, they like show up drunk at work. I mean, I'd have to leave for lunch if I didn't have a 12 pack for lunch. At least I'd have a 12 pack before I went to work, and I have a 12 pack for lunch. If I didn't, I'd start shaking so bad I couldn't even move. I couldn't function. And my brain kept telling me, if you don't drink, you're gonna die. You're gonna shake apart. You're gonna die. So you have to keep drinking. But I I thank God today that He took that compulsion away, and I can live a sober, happy life, not having to fight with the alcohol anymore. Um, I now we now when I was drinking, we never had a boat or anything like that. We now have a boat. I mean, we go out on the lake, we can go around different places, and I enjoy driving. You know, the other people can be along with me. They can have a good time. That's fine. I mean, but I'm the driver. You know, and it's fun to be able to have a responsibility and be responsible enough to be able to do that. And people count on you. I mean, it's just neat. It's a whole different way of life. And somehow after 24 years, where me and my wife are still married, and it's just yeah. So she's an angel. There's no reason she should have stuck by me. When I was drinking, I don't know what I all did to her. I can remember there would be nights where I'd rub against her or something. She's like, after what you did and called me last night, there's no way. And like I say, I had a lot of blackout drunks, and I was a very, very horrible person. And I hate that it had to be that way, but I guess it takes all that stuff to get us here. Be beat down hard enough to where we can't live anymore. So um, I now have actually held a job for 5 years and haven't got fired. So it's just a different way of living. And I don't know. That's probably about all I got. And
Good enough.
okay.
Yeah, okay, that's an amazing story. Miss funny, like you said, you had your uncle, he lost his family. How can you do that to your family? Until we start drinking, and everything becomes real. No, that's our disease.
Just say nothing.
Yep.
Slip for him. We signed
No,
a slip for
no.
him.
We'll pass around for comments since we got a little time. Rich, you want to start off?
Sure, I'm Richard Alcoholic. I could relate to a couple things. You talked about your son a little bit, and my son's 19 now, and he will probably end up in these rooms one day. I wasn't convinced of that last summer when I brought him to an AA meeting, but after seeing him for the last 2 months, as Jerry said last night in Montezuma, it's story time. So I almost got to speak long, just I'll make it short. But when I was in Texas, my friend, I guess you'd call her, she left Oklahoma for the weekend. I was with the three of us, me and Sebastian and his best friend who lives there with him. We're watching the kids, and we had the house, and she had some display wine, and they wanted to drink it, so they drank about 4 bottles, and then they filled it back up with water, and I think they put some soy sauce or something in it for color, corked it back up, and wrapped it back up, put it back on there. And I told him I'm not covering for you guys, I'm not covering for you guys, but I'm not going to tell either. And what they got him caught was they left about this much of a piece of the twine that comes off the thing at the top of the wine on the counter. And it's pretty funny. It kind of reminds me of stuff I would have done when I was a kid. And yeah, I thought that was interesting. And also I can relate to your mental health stuff. I've been in the psych wards since I was about 20 years old. In sobriety even. Corpus Christi was pretty nice. I went when I was down there. They got snacks. Good snacks too, like Doritos and Reese's, and yeah, it was really good. But I take care of my mental health one day at a time, just like I take care of my of my alcoholism. And if you have a diagnosis, you didn't say you had a diagnosis, but if you have a diagnosis like I had a diagnosis, take care of it one day at a time. Do what the doctors tell you. The doctors are like, you guys are like my doctors. I do if I listen, because that's the thing. I don't always listen. Sometimes that self-will does run riot. And I got myself in a little predicament out there, and I'm really glad to be back to this meeting. I haven't been here in a couple months, and I'll pass. Thank you.
I'm Tom, alcoholic.
Tom.
And I want to thank you for sharing. That was pretty awesome lead. And I was glued to what you were saying. And just keep coming back.
Tom.
You weren't here, so you passed.
Hey, Marvin.
Marvin.
Thanks for sharing. I could relate a lot. I picked up my share of DWI and keep coming back and keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thanks, Marvin. I'm Paul from Alcohol.
Hey, Paul.
Thank you, Dan. Like Marvin said, I related a lot with you, with the blackouts, DUIs, the job sites. Like we could drink there and smoke. It's nice, I love it. Didn't work out great, but thanks for sharing, buddy.
Yeah. Boy.
Thanks, Paul.
Jesse, alcoholic.
Hey, Jess.
Yeah, that was a good lead. I can relate to a lot of that also, the blackouts and stuff. And as far as, you said your son said he was worthless and better off. My daughter said that same thing. She called me a virus, so said I was a virus. And, that kind of stung a little bit, but later on that was my ambition to, always put drugs and alcohol before my daughter growing up. And she showed me tough love by putting a lot of things before me. Just to show me, so that was pretty much fuel for my sobriety. Good lead. Thank you.
Hey, Jess.
Hey, Jesse. Say thanks. There, Richard.
Dale, I remember when you came in here, so I got a lot on your lead. And yeah, must be lucky because I also have a pretty good Android home myself. She put up with a lot. Also got out a lot with your children. And then people, places, and things. That made a world of a difference for me. So I appreciate your lead and I appreciate your honesty.
Hey,
Thanks, son.
Derek and I'm alcoholic.
Derek.
I could relate to a lot to your story. You know, a big part of the insanity, the day-to-day insanity that we live when we're out there. You know, I lived that way too. You know, and at a young age, my first drink at 15, I was off to the races, and felt that I was born to be an alcoholic. You know, because I was full blown at 16 years old. And I was also thinking about all this stuff we do to our loved ones. You know, while we're it's just it's sad. You know, and I mean the good thing about the program is we don't have to live like that today. You know, but we really torture the loved ones. You know, and I feel I have a good one too that put up with a lot of my shit. You know that I'm very thankful to have. Thank you.
Thanks, Derek.
hey,
Miranda Alcoholic
hey, Miranda.
That was such a good lead. Yeah, it made me think about the time that, I told myself that I was never going to be like my dad, and then I ended up being exactly like him. He left me, and I did the same thing to my daughter. And, yeah, that was tough to realize that. The other thing that you said that I think is super cool, that once you surrendered, it was just a breeze from then on. Because once I could say that I surrendered before, but when you really surrender,
Yeah.
that's the kind of feeling that I got too. And I think that was super cool how you mentioned that. So thank you for your lead.
Thanks, Brenda.
Hey, Miranda.
I'm Ann, I'm an alcoholic.
Anna.
Thanks so much for your lead and your honesty. And I kept thinking about, I was a blackout drinker too, and the things that God protected us from. Like, I mean, literally, the fact that we're still here and we made it here and we're alive is just a testimony to the power of God. So I was really, that's one thing that made me really grateful. And I'm grateful that my kids never had to see me drink. By the grace of God, they're my gifts of sobriety. So they see me crazy though. They see me run down the street screaming because, just because I put the drink down doesn't mean that the circus has left town all, And so anyway, that's why I'm glad there's programs for them too. But thanks for your lead, and so glad you made it. God looked out over you, and glad that you're giving back now. So thanks for letting me share.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ed.
Ed.
Hello, everybody, I'm Ed, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Ed.
Yeah, thanks for your share, it was real good, It reminded me of, the blackouts. But see, I was one of those fortunate ones, had one DUI. I was in the military, so there's a real neat trick that you can do with cops, and that's, driver's license, military ID card. And that was a get out of jail free card for me numerous times. Also being in the military, I carried 3 different state driver's licenses so that they wouldn't catch up with me. But no, that was normal. That's the kind of crap that I did when I was in the military and drinking. But getting sober, I like what you said about, once you truly surrendered, shit changes. And it keeps getting better. And that's the neat part about this program. As long as I'm trying to live the 12 steps into my life on a daily basis, and turning my life over to that every morning, shit happens, and I don't have to drink over it. We were talking about coming in tonight, my son, who just graduated college,
Oh, cool.
my chains or my anchors to this area have just been picked up. I don't know what I'm going to do, shit. And how I got here was God. How I'll leave here will be with God. So, life is, it's a new chapter in life, and thanks for your sharing, and I'll keep going.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Eddie.
Don out.
Hey, Don.
Thanks for your lead.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Don.
Russ, alcoholic.
Hey, Russ.
I vaguely remember hearing your lead several years ago. Was it here? Yeah, I thought so. Just a story to go, when you were talking about your truck flipping and your, being pulled on a rollback past your house in the morning, the absolute miracles of why we're not dead. It's crazy that, to think of all the things that I did while I was out there, and that I'm not in an institution, locked up in a mental hospital, or dead. It just goes to show that there's a bigger purpose for all of us. And I know my bigger purpose will be revealed to me, but it won't be revealed to me unless I stay the course and stay in the program and keep doing what I'm supposed to do on a daily basis. And I'm glad you're still here. Glad I got to hear you lead for the second time. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks, Russ.
Mark Napa Valley.
Hey, Mark.
That's a good lead. I can remember my younger days. It was DUI after DUI. I didn't get my first one until I was about, I think I was 25. But after that, once you get one, and then I'm from Pennsylvania. I've only been out this way about 8 years. And the bad thing in Pennsylvania, when you get a DUI, we're still going to drink and drive. They give you an automatic 90 days for driving underneath DUI suspension. And if you're drunk, you're going away. So thank God I never got, it was just time after time. Then I wrecked a motorcycle, almost killed myself, had to learn how to walk again. Tore the bike in 3 pieces, got drunk. On my bike, it's my boss's, you have to boot. Just thinking back when we was younger, and blackouts. Get up in the morning and look out, where's the car? It's sitting in the middle of the yard. I didn't want to, walk from the driveway to the house, so I parked in the yard and have a stone was falling. So yeah, things we did when we was young. And sure we thought we had the world by the balls at that time. We knew it all, and yeah. Thank God we wised up and found this program. I sobered up for a couple of years, and I've been back out for about 10. I'm only going on about 4 months now. But it took me a little while longer to learn, but once you get this program, you can do it, work it the way that these people teach you, and hang out with these guys, you'll be all right. Yeah, good lead.
Hey, Mark.
Dwayne,
Hey, Dwayne.
Dale, thanks for the lead. I think I fell asleep there toward the end. I'm having all the days here. But anyhow, good lead. That blackout drinking stuff, that's some ugly shit. But you wake up and, what I do, and people start telling you, you're like, oh shit, there ain't no way. And, yeah, it's crazy. And just lost both my parents here in the last 5 months, so I'm definitely glad I have this program, because I'd have been a basket case and then some if I didn't have this program and the people in it. And this program works when you work it, and I know meeting makers make it. And I wasn't having any thoughts of drinking or anything, but I just was having a lot of long days without making meetings. But I had so much stuff going on, it just made it hard. So thanks for your lead. Good to see you again. Take care.
Thank you, Dale.
Mike alcoholic. As many of you guys know in here, we are family related here, me and Dale. We've known each other for a long time. When I got back from Parkside, same place he went, I noticed he was in his rooms. I went, oh shit. I got somebody I know. It kind of felt relaxing, but at the same point, I didn't know he was that bad. But I know his mom and dad. I know his uncles. I know his whole family. God knows his grandpa was my dad's, one of my dad's, actually my dad's brother-in-law. He was Henry. I'll put it that way. But we went through the same pitfalls. My family was just about ready to dump me out. I was informed when I got back from Parkside from my nephew, my godson, which bought my farm from me. That was the last time they were bailing me out of jail. Period.
and the whole family was behind him. I'm glad I'm here today. I'm here because I want to be sober more than I want to be drunk. And that Montezuma meeting, it was funny. I was in that great great place called Parkside, and a lady went to me and goes, "Who's going to be your sponsor?" I said, "Somebody 70 to 80 years old that takes no shit." Who do I meet first? Jerry Montezuma. Hello, there's your sponsor. It took me a while to get it, but you know what? I love Jerry to death, and he takes no shit. Absolutely no shit, and that's what I need. But when I asked him, I didn't know by the time I left, he asked this fine guy in the front of the room to help him, because he was afraid I was going to pound him into the ground, because I'm 6'6", 300 pounds. I said, "I'm not here to pound nobody in the ground. I never hit nobody in my life. I'm here to get sober." From day one, I've been ready to stay sober. When I left that facility, the compulsion to drink was gone, and I loved myself again, because I wanted it. That's the key. You gotta want this. And it took you a couple trips, didn't it, Dale? But you know what? You want this, and it's great to hear. I also have a sister in this. And the weirdest thing is, we never got along when we were both drinking. Today, we can sit right next to each other and actually talk civilized and not yell at each other. It's awesome. I'm vice versa. I'm going to share a little bit different than a lot of you. Every one of my friends I had before when I was drunk is still a friend, because they knew I was an alcoholic before I knew I was an alcoholic. They wanted me in these rooms quicker than I wanted it. But I gotta have the desire to stop drinking. And that compulsion, like I said, has left me and has never come back without that.
Thanks, Mike.
Kevin, I'm gonna call.
Kevin.
Thanks, Dale. That's a good lead. I've heard you a time or two before, and I've known you a long time, and, I can relate, what we have to go through to get to these rooms, And, and the thing that, I guess I hate about this disease most is that, we hurt the people that love us the most. And, today, I've made my amends and, am in, good, shape with my ex-wives and, ex-employers and this and all these kind of things. But, uh, I don't hold none of that against any of those people, And I was the one with the problem, and it took me a long time to figure it out. But this is a lot better way to live than the way I used to choose. So thanks for a good lead. Thanks for being my friend, and congratulations on that token, Jesse. Keep coming back. Well, back.
I'm Andrew Alcohol.
Andrew.
Yeah, I want to thank you for sharing with us, and I can remember when I quit drinking, my wife was 100% behind me, and it made it a lot easier with her working with me instead of against me, so I'm glad I made it, and I just want to thank you all.
Thanks, Andrew.
Andrew. Anybody else got comments? Again, Dale, good lead, Yeah, we are Americans, some of the stuff we go through. That'll be a God. You know. I will close the meeting with our Father.
Good, just waiting. Some stuff going on. Couldn't get here.
You got here before the Lord.
Who brought us all here?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Keep coming back and worship your work.
That's right, Richard.
Yeah, so I won't be here next week.
Yeah, that's not a problem or whatever, okay?
What's his last name?
March, yeah.
M.